On the hunt for comfortable, timeless Western boots? You already know the best place to shop for quality boots is at your local Tacova store. So stop by Tacova's Nashville, at the Mall at Green Hills, or on Broadway by Ryman Auditorium. That's right, you now have 2 locations to choose from. Grab a cold one as you shop and get fitted by a pro. Tacova's Nashville is at your service, and you can find your perfectly fitted dream boots with the help of their expert staff. Everyone will be asking where you got your sick new boots, but I won't be asking because I know they must be Tacova's. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Nashville, we're catching up after a busy holiday weekend and talking about some good eats around the city. Also, with the appearance of a hate group downtown, we're talking about some ways to love our neighbors. I'm joined by producer Marie Cecile Anderson and Hey Nashville newsletter editor Margaret Kingsbury. CityCast Nashville is presented by our exclusive launch sponsor, Tacova's. It's July 9th. I'm your host, Grace Fuse, and this is what Nashville's talking about. Okay, ladies, I haven't seen you guys in a second, and that's because we just said 4th of July. What did you guys get up to?
Ooh, you guys. First time hot chicken festival.
Did you use my tips?
I did. Kind of. I got there early-ish. I did run smack into the parade that was happening. Meaning that I tried to turn left straight into the parade, and the police were like, "Miss?" Well, I was like, "Oh, there is a parade." I did. My bad. My bad. But it was actually really amazing. It wasn't as hot, I think, as it could have been temperature-wise, but I did get there about 10:30 in the morning, like you suggested. And I also will just say my really good friend, Ashley Warbington, who's an activist and an amazing human, she's good friends with Justin Jones. Oh. So we hung out with Justin at the festival and then got into the sponsor tent. And then I got to try all of the chicken. All of them. So I did my own little judging in my mouth.
Okay, so what was your favorite?
Well, Prince's, duh. I mean, that just has to be the depth of flavors in Prince's hot chicken.
Yep.
I mean, unbelievable. And the side of ranch was perfect for a hot day.
Hell yeah. We love Prince's. I actually call me a capitalist sellout, but I love a Tanger outlet. And I love that Prince's is at Tanger outlets because it's just like that's a whole day moment. I don't know. Anyway, okay. Margaret, what did you get up to?
We decided to try to see the downtown fireworks. I've never been before, but we didn't want to go downtown because I have a 6-year-old and just that's not going to be working. So we did some research to see where we could see it, and we went to Skyline Medical Center.
Really?
They weren't very big. You couldn't see a lot of them. And my 6-year-old started screaming because it was way past her bedtime. And she thought they were going to be right over her head. We tried to explain they wouldn't. So we had to just pack her up in the car and leave. And on the way out, something wet splashed onto my head. And I didn't think anything of it because it had been raining earlier. We get in the car and she's screaming in the car. And we're heading home. And I realize a bird has pooped on my head.
Oh, that's good luck.
So I tell the car, I'm like, a bird's just pooped on my head. And she completely stopped screaming. There's this silence. And then everyone just starts laughing. It broke the tantrum. You know, it was worth it.
You know what? Good for you, Margaret. Okay, well, Marie went to her hot chicken festival. I have to talk about Burger Week because you guys know I'm Burger Queen.
Oh, hail the Burger Queen.
Yes.
Grace.
Yes.
Exactly, Marie.
It's going to catch on.
I just have to keep mentioning it every single episode. So the kickoff was yesterday, and I'm starting out tonight with my first 2 smash burgers. I'm trying to try as many smash burgers as I possibly can. So today I'm doing the makeshift oxtail burger and Cabin Addict's Surf Shack burger. So that's very exciting. Marie, I heard something about some like non-red meat burgers. What's up with that?
Well, Linda Anderson, my mother, does not eat red meat, but she does love herself some Burger Week. So she gave me the rundown of the 4 places that she found out of the, how many, 60 participating?
It's like 60 or something.
There's 4 places that are offering other options, like Smoke and Thighs obviously has like a chicken patty. Stock and Barrel has an elk burger.
Oh.
That would be a first for me. Gray's has a veggie something. But then I want to get into it. Is this up for debate? Jack Brown's has a Krabby Patty. Is that a burger? Or is that just a crab sandwich?
I think it depends how you feel when you close your eyes. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter visually if it's a burger. It's just, does it give burger when it's in your mouth?
Well, that's the one that I'm actually kind of excited. I'm obsessed with lobster roll, especially during the summer. And I'm here for a Krabby Patty. So I'll report back.
And I think Chris Chamberlain, our Nashville scene buddy, who told us about Burger Week yesterday, I think he said that last year they won with a crab rangoon burger. So maybe they're just like holding on to their success. Marie, I heard that you had some success with some food this weekend.
Well, not only did I shove hot chicken in my mouth this weekend, but I also discovered, big mouth. My big mouth was everywhere, all over Nashville. All right, cut that, reel it in. I don't know about you guys, but growing up here, like my first bagel that I ever had was from Bruegger's Bagels. On the west side. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then I lived in New York City. And the bagels there are the best in the whole freaking world. And then moving back to Nashville, I have been on the hunt for a good old bagel that reminds me of my time in New York City. And I have not found it until this weekend from Mr. Aaron's Goods. He works out of the TKO restaurant on Gallatin in like North Inglewood. This bagel, I got a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, added hot sauce on an everything bagel. It was fresh out of the oven thing. How do you make bagels? They like, boil it and then bake it. Yeah, oven. Oh my God. The chew. That's what I've been missing from, I've had bagels all over town. When I moved here, everyone's like, oh, proper bagel. Yeah. Good bagel. Not the best.
No, ma'am.
Creve Hall Company, that bagel company, delicious. Cream cheese. Not the big, I'm looking for the big fluffy bagel. Anyway, Mr. Aaron's Goods has the bagels. He operates out of TKO off of Gallatin just in the mornings because that space is obviously at night. It's a TKO's restaurant. Bill's Sandwich Palace actually used to work out of there also, which I think it's all these guys that are buddies and they're all just helping each other out, which I think is so cool. And then Mr. Aaron Dissler is his name. He's actually doing a summer sandwich series with all of his bagels. So he's getting other restaurants involved, including Sean Brock. He's going to have a bagel sandwich in August. I think Cafe Rose just had their bagel. So it's like all these different, it's like Burger Week, but bagel summer.
It is bagel summer. It is bagel summer.
I could go on and on about the bagels. Anyway, go get yourself one and tell them Marie from CityCast Nashville sent you, and they'll just give you a high five.
You're not getting a discount, that's for sure.
Nope,
You're just going to get a bagel. I also have a little update for people that are confused, like my friends were, on Plaza Mariachi.
Oh, yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, what is going on? So, I mean, I know we heard, and I think we talked about it, that there was they filed for bankruptcy. So when we talked about that, I personally got confused, and so did many of my friends. We were talking about going salsa dancing, but we were like, so is it open? Are we able to go? What's up with that? The sale was temporarily stalled for 60 days. You got at least 60 days worth of Plaza Mariachi and probably more after that. The owner wants you to know that they weren't behind on loan payments. They just had a principal balance at the end of their loan that they couldn't pay in full. I don't really know how that works, but all I heard is 60 more days of Plaza Mariachi. At least. Hopefully more.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for clarifying because I too thought that maybe it was just donezo.
And I checked and they have a lot of events this month too. So to check out.
That's fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So
now would probably be the best time to support Plaza Mariachi if they're dealing with this sort of financial issues.
100%. Let's go out and support. And on that note, I'm going to kick it to a break. When we come back, we've got some disgusting news we have to catch up on, some stuff that came out of downtown. We'll see you in a second. Again, this weekend, we had downtown making some horrible headlines. What's that about? Who wants to... Marie?
Yeah, thanks for throwing it to me, Grace. We began this episode with all the love that we have, and now let's get into the hate that's happening downtown Nashville. So yes, over the weekend, there was another white supremacist group marching around in Nashville. And I wasn't aware of it until I logged on to TikTok to see what Taylor Swift was up to this weekend, when all of a sudden it was flooded with videos of these men getting out of U-Haul trucks, wearing matching uniforms with face masks and sunglasses covering their faces, and then marching around with Confederate flags. And then also the American flag was upside down on some of their flags. And then they were chanting really awful things. And I mean, this is a rise in hate in Nashville. How many of these demonstrations have happened so far? I mean,
second time this year.
Yeah, the last one was in February.
Cool. Yeah, that's incredibly disturbing. And, you know, I was talking about it with some friends who hadn't heard about it last night. And one of my friends was like, well, it is their right to express their freedom of speech. And I lost my mind. What do you all think? I mean, why do you think that there's this rise in hate in Nashville specifically?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the stats. I don't feel like this is a rise in hate so much as a rise in confidence to express the hate so publicly. I had this weird experience in 2020. I went to this estate sale that was for... I wish I knew the guy's name still. It was like a rock star photographer. He was just moving to LA, I think. And he had all of these, a lot of clothes that people had given him for different photo shoots that like were just worn once or were barely worn. And so I went to the estate sale one day and I got these really cool boots. I met the guy. I was like, oh, this was such a cool estate sale. I'm going to come back the next day. I come back the next day. The guy recognizes me. And he's like, oh, I think I have some boots that you'll like. And these are not boots that are like on sale. He like brings them from upstairs, like from his closet. Okay. And I was like, what cool boots. I will take these. I take them home. I'm doing some research. I'm like, how can I find out what the brand is of these boots? There's nothing explicit on it. This is going to get bad. This story is going to get bad soon.
Oh, I am here for it. Okay.
The tag on the back, like you can picture it. It's the same kind of tag as like a Doc Marten has on the little back, the little fabric thing. It said, I think, stomping soles. And I was like, bizarre. Still can't tell what it is. I flipped the boot over and the tread of the boot is swastikas.
Wow. Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. You must have felt so like, whoops.
I felt so weird about it. And also, I think it was just the first time that something hit me in the face where I was like, oh, there are Nazis that are your neighbor.
My neighbor has multiple swastika tattoos.
What?
Yeah. We didn't meet the neighbors when we moved in and bought the house. And it was quite alarming to see the first time.
Oh.
Yeah.
So literally your neighbor.
Yes.
Oh, Margaret. So, I mean, having this conversation and talking about these people showing up downtown Nashville, that is so fascinating then to learn that these people are among us and they're feeling emboldened to come out of their shadows. I mean, they're still cowards with their ski masks and sunglasses and stuff, but I'm just...
Right.
You know, I was reading about how Tennessee has more of these instances than other states. And some of the other top states tend to be purple states. So one of my theories is because Nashville is a blue city in a red state, that maybe there's some friction between, you know, blue and red. Although, you know, not everyone who is a Republican is a Nazi, of course, you know. So it's just, but I think that might be one reason why they feel more emboldened and want to come to Nashville and spread these hateful messages.
Well, we have some local leaders who have responded denouncing the far-right hate group, but so far, Republican leaders have not responded. So that's disappointing, and hopefully we'll hear some more conversations around that, supporting our neighbors. And we just want to end this on a positive note and talk about loving our neighbors. What can we do to spread love for our neighbors this week?
Yeah, so I read about Miss Cheap is hosting a T-shirt and winter coat drive for our unhoused neighbors. So if you want to give to that, they're collecting until July 15th. And there's a bunch of drop-off points around Nashville and local neighborhoods. And I think that would be a great way, clean out your closet, get some T-shirts and winter coats, and donate.
Absolutely. I constantly have a pile of clothes in my... It's a me problem that I have piles of clothes in my room, but I always have at least one pile that is supposed to be for donating. So I will definitely be hitting that up this week.
I appreciate a summer drive.
Yeah.
Because that is honestly when I'm cleaning out, especially my winter clothes, because I'm like, I didn't wear this last winter and I'm not going to wear it this coming winter. So I appreciate that.
And it gets coats to people before winter comes instead of once the cold weather's here.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we need to get coats, But yeah. If you want to find out more about where you can donate clothes, go to News Channel 5 and check it out.
Awesome. We will be checking out News Channel 5's website for sure. What do we got in terms of cooling stuff, Marie?
Obviously, it's really freaking hot. So Nashville is offering cooling centers around town. The Tennessee Department of Health lists grocery stores that are great places to cool off. I will say the Aldi on Gallatin keeps it real nice and cold. But unfortunately, a lot of the stores, it seems that might kick out unhoused people. But libraries are also listed that you can go to. However, we know that not all neighborhoods have a library branch, but you can look for that list of libraries. And then also, Margaret, I was curious, you've been talking about how the librarians are actually, they're not trained social workers. However, they're dealing with a lot of unhoused people coming in and possibly needing help.
The other week, I went to the Richland Park Library branch, and in the restroom, they have packets with toothbrushes and sanitary items and things like that. And I thought that was really cool. But I've also talked to some librarians, and, they're not trained social workers. They train in, information management, and a lot of their job ends up revolving around helping unhoused people that come in needing help. And they're not always trained for that. So it's become a bit of a friction point at libraries. And, all the librarians I talk to want to help, but they don't necessarily have the resources to do so.
And it already takes a lot of training and education to be a librarian. That's a thing I don't think people know about librarians necessarily, is how hard it is to become a librarian. And imagine the amount of time and effort it would become to be a librarian if you were also working on social work aspects, which is it's so much to ask of people who are already giving their life to information and sharing information. But obviously it's nice to have these spaces. So what else do you guys think we can do to help our unhoused neighbors? You guys have anything that you do?
You see a lot of people outside right now at stop signs and stop lights and stuff. And so I do try to grab 24 packs of water from Aldi, or, even just a gallon of water can be really cheap. You can pour them a glass of water and offer that.
Knowing where the nearest cooling center is, so you can, if you see someone in distress, you can help them by pointing out where the nearest cooling center is. That would be helpful.
No, that's an excellent recommendation. On that note, let's make sure we're looking out for our neighbors. That's all for today here on CityCast Nashville. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Nashville newsletter. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye!